Hey Cody, I finally finished work today and I am on my way home now. Hopefully I did better this time though and won't have to go through more training like before.
You did great. Good job for making it through another tough day. And I'm sure they're never going to have you go through that again. Were you able to get through it without hearing anything annoying from your boss today?
Ugh, no luck there. I ended up getting hassled by the office queen once again. I don't know why she always has to say something rude to me. It's like she thinks it's her right to say whatever she wants to me, even though some of the things she's saying aren't even right in any environment.
It's probably because you're so cute. She's probably just jealous.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
She's probably jealous of you, so she's being mean to you out of spite. People with ugly hearts always act that way. Honestly, she's probably bitter because she's older and sees someone young and pretty like you. It must be getting under her skin.
You really think so? Could someone seriously be that petty to come after me every day over something like that?
Absolutely, it's a classic case of jealousy. But hey, if it ever gets too much, you can come to me. I'll take care of that office queen for you. I'd be more than happy to help you file a lawsuit against her.
Wait, what? You think that's even possible?
Definitely. If you leave it to me, I'll make sure it's handled. Don't underestimate the power of legal action.
You mean you're actually talking about taking her to court? Well, that sounds so complicated, though. I don't know. Can you really file a lawsuit just because someone is being a bit of a bully at work?
It's simpler than you might think. All you need to do is hire a good lawyer. You know how the U.S. is known as the land of lawsuits, right? Just like in Europe, where people are always using lawyers. Americans should start using them more freely, too. Filing a lawsuit isn't as difficult as it seems, trust me.
I don't really know much about that kind of stuff, but you always seem to know so much about everything. It's reassuring.
If anything ever happens, you can count on me to protect you. Don't hesitate to rely on me more.
That makes me really happy to hear. I feel like if I were to marry you, I'd be safe forever. I'm so glad I met you.
Of course, I'd protect you for life. I even made a promise to your parents when I met them. I told them I would cherish you forever.
That's true, I remember that. Oh, by the way, where are we going for tomorrow's date? I've got the day off, so I'd really love to spend the whole day with you.
Oh, I'm really sorry about this, but it looks like I won't be able to make it tomorrow. The truth is, I've had a fever since this morning, and it still hasn't gone down.
What? You have a fever? How high is it?
It was around 99 degrees earlier. I've also started coughing a bit, so I think I caught a cold from somewhere.
That's a pretty high fever. You must be feeling terrible.
I don't want to risk passing it on to you, so I think we should postpone our date. I want to get better as soon as possible, and I need to rest. I feel bad since we finally got a day off together, but I hope you understand.
Oh, of course I do. Oh, don't even worry about it. Please just rest and focus on getting better. I really appreciate you taking the time to message me, even though you're not feeling well.
Well, I don't want you to feel lonely just because we can't meet up. I figured messaging you would make it a little better.
Thank you for that, but honestly, you need to prioritize yourself right now. You always put me first, so this time, take care of yourself, okay?
I just want to see you smile.
Aw, stop it. You're going to make me blush.
Anyway, I'm just gonna stay home and take it easy tomorrow. I've got to shake this cold off quickly or it'll start affecting my work.
Yes, definitely do that. Do you need me to bring you anything? I could go shopping for you if you need anything.
Thanks, but I'm all set. I just went grocery shopping, so I've got plenty of food. Let's plan to meet up again after I'm feeling better.
Sounds good. Make sure you stay warm and get lots of sleep. Good night. Sorry if I woke you up. Is your apartment number 302, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You haven't moved recently, right? You're still living at the same apartment?
Huh? No, I haven't moved. Why? Did something happen? What's going on?
Well, I'm actually at your apartment building right now.
What? Wait, what do you mean? Why?
I wanted to surprise you by making you some soup. You mentioned before, back when we were still just dating, that if you ever got sick, you'd love it if your girlfriend would come over and take care of you. So I thought maybe I could do that for you today, if you'd like.
Oh, I see. That's really thoughtful of you.
But when I rang the doorbell, some boy I didn't know came out of your apartment. He told me Papa isn't here. Is this your place? And who is this Papa he's talking about?
Oh, that must have been my nephew.
Your nephew? I didn't know you had one. You never mentioned that before.
Yeah, my brother's kid. They don't live nearby, so I don't get to see him much, but that's him.
But wait a minute. Didn't you tell me your brother is single? You've said before that he spends all his money on his hobby, motorcycles. I distinctly remember you saying that.
Well, yeah, he's technically single because he's divorced. He doesn't have a wife anymore, but that doesn't mean he can't have a kid, right? So he's still single, just with a kid. Anyway, because of his job, he's been really busy and had to travel, so he asked me to look after his son.
But I'm just thinking, would someone really leave their kid with someone who's sick? You've got a pretty high fever, don't you? I'm just trying to understand the situation here.
He was desperate and asked me to take him in. I didn't really have much of a choice, you know? Don't worry, though. I'm being really careful and keeping us separate, so the chances of him catching anything from me are slim. I'm taking all the precautions to make sure he doesn't get sick.
Wait, so where are you right now? You told me earlier that you had a high fever. Are you really okay to be out and about?
I'm actually at the hospital right now. The over-the-counter medicine I've been taking isn't working, so I had no choice but to come in. It's kind of bad timing that you dropped by while I'm not home, huh?
Hey, this boy, he looks kind of out of it. He's not looking well at all. He seems really weak, like he's about to collapse. His eyes look empty, and honestly, I'm getting a bit worried about him.
Oh, maybe he caught my cold after all. Or it could be that he's just exhausted from playing too much. He was running around earlier like crazy, having the time of his life. You know how kids are, right?
Is that so?
Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about it. I'll hurry back as soon as I can. Just hang tight, okay?
No, it's all right. You don't have to rush back. I think I'll head home. You need to rest and focus on getting better. There's no need to push yourself just because I'm here. This time, the timing just didn't work out for us.
I feel bad that you came all the way out here and I couldn't even see you. I really appreciate the gesture, though. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Don't worry about it. I'm the one who showed up without warning. I'm really sorry if I made things more difficult for you. But hey, take care of yourself, okay? I hope you get better soon.
Jolie, you already left, right? I'm really sorry about today having to cancel our date because I came down with a fever. You even came all the way here, but the timing just didn't work out. And on top of that, my nephew was here, so I'm sure you were pretty shocked.
Cody, are you feeling any better?
Yeah, the fever's gone down after I took the medicine I got from the hospital. I think I'm okay now.
But the one with the fever was your child, right? How could you be such a terrible father?
Huh? What are you talking about?
This boy, he's really your child, isn't he?
No, you've got it wrong. He's my nephew, I swear.
Cody, I called the police and had them come to your apartment. They spoke to the boy and he told them that you're his father and that you haven't been home for days. What's going on?
Wait, you didn't actually leave earlier? And why are you trusting everything a kid says? They don't always know what they're talking about.
I pretended to leave. I thought if you suspected something, you'd come home right away. And the boy's behavior was strange, so I felt like something wasn't right. Before you could come back, I wanted to make sure the police could get involved and protect him.
What exactly are you accusing me of here?
We'll find out soon enough whose child this is. The police are already looking into it.
Wait, what?
Cody, just tell me the truth. Who is this boy? What have you been doing to him?
Nothing! I haven't done anything to him!
Then why does he look like this? He is skin and bones, and it seems like he has a fever, too. The police said they considered his condition dangerous enough that they decided to take him to the hospital. His health is in such bad shape that they deemed it necessary to get immediate medical care.
You let them take him to the hospital without even asking me first?
I decided after discussing it with the police, we also notified Child Protective Services. The fact that they approved taking him to the hospital shows how bad his condition was. They believed it was a life-threatening situation, so it was necessary to act quickly and get him to a safe place.
You're blowing this way out of proportion!
Stop trying to dodge this. Just explain already. It's clear to me that this is your child. I want to hear it from you. I want you to tell me what's really going on.
Well, the truth is I'm divorced. My ex-wife left me about 3 years ago.
So that's why you have custody of him now?
Well, I wouldn't say I have custody. It's more like I got stuck with him. I didn't want to take him in, but what choice did I have?
What about when I came over to visit your place? Was he there then? He must have been.
I usually tell him to stay outside when you come over, or if that's not possible, I make him stay in the bathroom.
What? In the bathroom, even at night?
Yeah, I don't want him making a mess all over the place. It's easier to keep things clean that way.
Making a mess? What are you talking about?
Kids are messy. They get things dirty all the time.
But there's no heating or cooling in the bathroom, is there? How could you leave him in there? What were you thinking?
It's fine. The bathroom's indoors. It's not like he's out in the cold. I just tell him to sit still and he's fine.
Cody, do you even realize what you're saying right now? Do you understand that this is a child we're talking about?
Kids are tougher than you think. You wouldn't understand because you don't have kids.
That's not the point. This child is severely underweight and clearly neglected. How long have you been leaving him like this?
It hasn't been that long, just 2 or 3 days maybe?
3 days? And you lied about being sick, didn't you? Where were you really?
Fine, I'll admit it. I was out camping with some friends. I had some vacation days saved up. I completely forgot that we'd made plans for a date. I'm sorry about that.
Why didn't you just tell me the truth from the start? Why did you lie?
There were some girls in the group, and I figured it would be too much hassle to explain everything, so I just said I was sick to avoid a complicated conversation. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Girls? Was this some kind of matchmaking camp or something?
Some people were there for that, but I wasn't. I was just there because they needed more people. I have you, after all. You're my fiance.
The fact that you felt the need to hide it from me tells me you were up to no good.
No, really. It's just that I wanted to have one last hurrah before we get married, you know? I'm sorry, okay?
I can't believe you. But what you should be apologizing for is not to me, but your child, don't you think?
Him? I don't really care about him.
He's been waiting at home for you this whole time, Cody. Waiting for his dad to come back. Can you even imagine how that must feel?
I don't understand why he left the house. I specifically told him not to go outside.
Maybe because he was desperate for help. He was suffering and probably just hoping that someone would rescue him. Poor thing.
This is such a disaster.
Cody, are you more upset about the fact that the police discovered the existence of your child rather than the fact that he's in critical condition?
Well, you're mad, aren't you?
Of course I'm mad, but not because you hid your child from me. I am furious that you've been mistreating him this whole time. How could you do this?
You're acting like you're all about kids all of a sudden.
Anyone with a heart would be devastated by what's happening here. How can you look at what's happening and feel nothing? Your child is going to be hospitalized until his condition stabilizes. His immune system was weakened and he's caught some kind of infection, too.
Well, thanks for today. You really helped me out with a lot of stuff. I'll make it up to you next time, all right? I'll take you to a really fancy Italian restaurant, something high class.
What are you talking about? You think I'm going to dinner with you after this?
Jolie? Wait, what's wrong?
There's no way I am marrying a criminal like you. I am calling off our engagement.
What? What are you saying? You were so excited about marrying me not too long ago. You even said you couldn't wait to start our life together.
What you did is a crime. You might even get arrested for it. Do you even understand the severity of the situation?
Arrested? Come on, it's not that serious.
A person like you deserves to be locked away in prison. There's no way I'd ever marry someone who treats children like this. My parents would never accept you, so this is it. We're done.
Wait, hold on. Are you really serious about breaking off the engagement? I didn't even do anything to you. Why are you this mad?
Of course I'm angry, and don't act like you didn't lie to me about everything. You even went to some camping trip that was basically a group date.
Okay, I'll admit I messed up and I'm sorry for lying, but I still care about you. I care about our future together.
I can't trust someone who would do such horrible things to a child. What if we have kids in the future? You'd probably treat them the same way.
No, I would never do that. If it were our kids, I'd treat them like they're the most precious thing in the world. I'd be an amazing dad, I swear.
Really? You seriously think you'd be a great father? Your behavior clearly shows you have some major character flaws. I can't marry someone like you.
Wait, is this because you feel bad for my kid? If you're so worried about him, why don't you just become his mom? We could fix everything if we got married.
Excuse me?
Yeah, think about it. You care about the kid, right? You think he's cute and all that. If we get married, you could be his mom and it would solve everything. He'd have a proper family and you wouldn't have to worry anymore.
Are you out of your mind? You are completely delusional. You seriously think I'd marry you after all this just to become a stepmom? I'd rather stay single forever than be stuck with someone like you.
Jolie, what happened to you? You used to love me so much. Is this really you? I can't believe this is happening. You're breaking my heart.
The moment I realized what you did to that poor child, everything changed. I can never forgive someone who harms a defenseless kid. You need to stay in prison and think about what you've done for a long time.
Wait, am I really going to be arrested?
Yes, that's what I've been telling you.
Why, though? This is insane. You're blowing things way out of proportion. It was just discipline, that's all it was.
Discipline? If you think what you did qualifies as discipline, then you absolutely deserve to be arrested. Society will be a better place if you're behind bars.
I don't want to go to prison. My life will be over if that happens. I'll be ruined. How will I survive that? I'll be done for.
It's your own fault. You've already ruined yourself with your actions, so you might as well accept it. You've brought this on yourself.
Jolie, please. Please help me. Talk to the police. Tell them I'm a good dad. I can't go to jail. I just can't.
I am not going to say anything to help you. There is no way I'd lie for you.
Come on, don't be like this. Haven't I been good to you all this time?
If you're so worried about going to prison, why don't you hire a lawyer and fight it? Isn't that what you said you'd do before? Weren't you bragging about how you could handle anything in court?
That was just me talking big. I don't know anything about court or legal stuff. I was just trying to impress you back then.
I can't believe I once respected you. I am embarrassed forever thinking highly of you. But now I don't care about you at all anymore. I hope prison teaches you a lesson, Cody. Maybe some real consequences will finally get through to you.
Jolie, please, I'm begging you, don't leave me like this. I'll change, I swear. Just help me this one time.
I'm done with you. You're going to have to face the consequences of your actions alone. I want nothing more to do with you. You deserve everything that's coming to you. In the days that followed, Cody's child was finally placed in protective custody at a facility designed to provide safety and care for those in need. It was a relief to know that the child would now have a secure environment, one where they could feel safe and loved, something they had been deprived of for far too long. As someone who had once been a part of their life, even in a small way, I felt a deep sense of responsibility toward their well-being. Although I no longer had a direct connection to the situation, the need to do something for the child gnawed at me. With that in mind, I made the decision to donate to the facility where the child had been placed. I thought about how my small contribution could help, whether it was used for therapy, clothing, food, or just any resources that would make their stay a little more comfortable. Although I understand that my monetary donation would not erase the trauma that they had experienced or magically heal the emotional scars they carried, it was the only gesture I could make in that moment. I often wondered whether it was enough, feeling its insignificance in the grand scheme of things, but it was the best I could do. The aftermath of what had happened weighed heavily on my mind. I found myself replaying the events over and over, reflecting on how I could have been so oblivious to the signs that indicated something was seriously wrong. I thought about the child and the pain they had endured, and I couldn't shake the guilt that settled deep within me. Even though I was not the one who had inflicted harm, I felt a sense of responsibility for not seeing the truth sooner. What could I have done differently? Could I have saved them from this nightmare? As I learned more about the child's situation after they were examined at the facility, I was devastated to hear that numerous scars had been found on their body. These scars were a haunting mix of old and new, telling a story of prolonged suffering at the hands of someone who should have been their protector. The doctors and social workers described the state the child was in as severe, and even though I knew it was bad, hearing it confirmed in such stark terms shook me to my core. The realization that a sweet, innocent child had endured such pain was unbearable. Cody's actions were inexcusable, and there was no way to justify the cruelty they had displayed. There's a difference between being flawed and making mistakes in a relationship and subjecting an innocent child to such violence and neglect. I struggled to comprehend what could have led someone to inflict such harm. The anger I felt toward Cody burned brightly within me, and while I knew that holding on to that anger wouldn't change anything, I found it hard to let go. It was still raw and justified. After the truth came to light, Cody was arrested, and I took some solace in knowing that they would face consequences for their actions. In my mind, this was the least that should happen. Someone who could do such terrible things did not deserve freedom. I hoped and prayed that justice would be served and that Cody would be held accountable for every instance of abuse. It gave me a measure of comfort to know that he could no longer harm that child or anyone else. Still, I couldn't shake the feelings of guilt and helplessness that plagued me. Of course, my engagement to Cody ended immediately after the revelations came to light. There was no other option. The man I had once loved had turned out to be a monster, and the realization that I had been so blind to his true nature weighed heavily on me. I spent countless nights replaying our relationship in my mind, trying to pinpoint when I should have seen the signs and realized that something was terribly wrong. The sad truth was that I didn't see anything. The phrase "love is blind" has never felt more accurate. I was completely unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface of our relationship. As I reflected on my relationship with Cody, I came to understand the depth of my naivety. I missed the warning signs, ignored my intuition, and placed my trust in someone who had not earned it. I realized that I had a lot to learn, particularly when it came to reading people. I couldn't help but feel ashamed of my own inability to see the truth. Moving forward, I vowed to dedicate time to improving myself, both inside and out. I didn't want to just rebuild my self-esteem or heal from the betrayal. I wanted to grow. Part of that growth involved refining my ability to assess character. I wanted to ensure that I would not fall victim to another manipulative person in the future. The experience with Cody had taught me a valuable lesson about trust and discernment. I wanted to cultivate a more discerning eye for the people I allowed into my life. Recognizing that not everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt, I knew I had to become wiser, stronger, and more critical when it came to relationships. It became clear to me that self-care was not just about pampering oneself, but also about recognizing one's own worth, setting boundaries, and knowing when to walk away from toxic situations. The scars I carried from this experience would serve as constant reminders of what I had endured, but they also motivated me to change. I wanted to learn how to take better care of myself, physically, emotionally, and mentally. As I continued to reflect on my past with Cody, I recognized that my intuition had been trying to tell me something all along. It was there, quietly urging me to pay attention, to listen to that nagging feeling in the back of my mind. I realized that my next step was to embrace that intuition and trust it. I had to train myself to be more aware of the warning signs that might indicate trouble in a relationship, and I vowed to never ignore them again. I also began to understand the importance of surrounding myself with supportive people who genuinely cared about my well-being. Friends and family who would not only lift me up, but also call me out if I ever started to stray down a dark path again. The process of healing and rebuilding would require a strong support network, and I knew that I needed to seek out those who would encourage me to be the best version of myself. As time went on, I made a conscious effort to embrace self-love and acceptance. I wanted to learn how to appreciate myself for who I was, flaws and all. It was essential to acknowledge that I had made mistakes, but those mistakes did not define me. They were a part of my journey, but they were not the whole story. I needed to be kinder to myself and recognize that everyone has their own struggles. In the end, I came to terms with the fact that I could not change the past or undo the harm that had been done to that child. I could only learn from my experiences and move forward with the hope of becoming a better person. I continued to pray for the child's well-being, wishing for them to grow up healthy and strong, free from the shadows of their past. I also prayed for the strength to forgive myself for the mistakes I had made, hoping that one day I would find peace within. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.